2.
Welcome to the show.
Can you?
Grab me a positive synergy. I have been doubted through life. Been there and done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong. Been struggling too long. This song is for you. I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way. 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 Get out my way.
What you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say that. I'm sipping wine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm. Just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I am playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. That you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. Ooh, you're so sweet, so tight. I won't bite unless you like. If you smoke, I got the haze. And if you're hungry, girl, I got fillets. Ooh, baby, don't keep me waiting. There's so much love we could be making. I'm talking kissing, cuddling, rose petals in the bathtub. Girl, it's jumping, it's bubbling. I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. That you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. La 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 la, I need you, baby. La la la, I got to see you, baby. La la la, girl, I'm trying to give you this. Hey, I'ma leave my door open.
Hey, Love 92.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
Man, we're here jamming today. Good. All right, welcome back. We needed a break yesterday. I know you was tired. I know Riri was tired. We said, you know what? I said, we're going to come back today. We're going to come back
Fine
today.
with me.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna see if Riri coming up here. I see. All right, let's see. What's up, Riri?
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Did you get some rest?
I fell asleep before you even text me back last night.
I kept on refreshing just to see, like, okay, I guess we're not going live tonight.
I was out before
when you said you was tired, I was like, yes. That's my excuse to go ahead and get some rest. So I did.
Oh my gosh, I crashed out.
Man, I feel you. Let me see who up in here so far. We got Faith Burris. How you doing? Thank you so much, Faith Burris, for blessing the channel. Hey, y'all. Please continue to bless the channel so we can continue to get these transcripts. They are expensive, but when everybody pitches in, that allows us to definitely get them. I at least want to try, if we can, try to get at least $75 collectively, whether it's $10, $5, $5 here, $10 here. It all adds up. If we got 30, 40 people come on, everybody pitch in, I can, pretty much keep this thing going. What's up, Renee Glover? How are you? Faith Barris, how are you? Andrew Staples, House of the Princess is in the building. May 1994. What's up? Johan in the building. What up, bro? Let's see here and reread. All right, so let me put this on here.
Congratulations to Cassie and Alex on their new baby.
I know,
Yes.
right? Was the baby it was a healthy baby?
Yeah, and it was a boy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What's up, Johan? We don't see you. By the way, y'all, I went ahead. There you go. What's up, bro? I think
You're muted.
you're on mute.
Hello?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay, all right. What's going on now?
Chilling, man. I went ahead and upgraded the channel, y'all, because y'all said y'all was having all this stuff going on. So I went ahead and paid for the program, $44.99 a month. Any of y'all that got it know I'm telling the truth. So that way we can get 10 people on here. So now we only got to just have 6 people. So we can get 10 people on here and we can really rock out with this thing, okay? What's up, Purple? How you doing? All right, so let's pull this up, y'all, and we're going to get after it, man. We're going to get after it. Let me get it out the way now. LOL Cash App sent. Thank you so much, Faith Beerus. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. And how was y'all day? Everybody had a good day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How was work, Johan?
I was off today.
Oh, good for you.
Man, I needed it, man.
You needed it?
Good,
man. Good. All right, I'm going to share this screen. All right, here we go, y'all. We are still on Cassie, so we're going to start right here with the top of page 556. And let's go ahead and rock out. If you could, K-Love, please continue to play Cassie. Riri,
Okay.
continue to be the lawyer, Miss Johnson. And obviously me and Johan will handle all the male parts, Mr. Agnifilio and everybody else. Okay? So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Top of page 556. Can y'all see everything pretty clear?
Yep.
I can see it. Hey,
Awesome.
Atmos, just
Yes.
to let you know, it's already buffering.
Are you serious?
Yep. Are y'all seeing it?
I haven't, not yet.
not
It
yet.
just went out for me and came
Please
back.
ask all guests to stay in the studio until their recording part is done uploading. King Johan has low storage space.
Oh, mine is buffering.
I got what?
Uploaded, low disk space. Hold on, okay, so I had this. So with the new plan, it's got all kind of extra stuff on here. So y'all are actually allowed to like record from y'all's devices or something. So let me take this feature off real quick. Maybe that'll help us to eliminate the buffering stuff. Let me look at this here. Hold on. Banners, media assets, video clips, recordings. Okay, yeah, dang, still buffering? That's depressing. Hold on, let me see something.
I don't know. It's not doing it on my end.
I got it once so far.
Good grief, I'm sorry, y'all. I really thought that I had invested more money into the doggone thing would help it, but
Blues Clues.
Blues Clues. Oh, don't even try me. Don't do me. Okay. So y'all, let's go ahead and get started with your doggone hold on, what is this? Okay. You cannot play with me with your doggone Rumpelstiltskin fucking internet service. All right, y'all, let's get going. I'm sorry. And y'all know I like to play with y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Here we go. All right. I will be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Let's go back. Please be seated. Here, just waiting for Miss Ventura.
Yes.
Welcome back. Let's get our jury. Jury is present. Please be seated. Miss Johnson, you may continue when ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Ventura, before we broke, we were talking about using drugs at freak offs. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
And you had testified about sometimes contacting people if you ran out of drugs at the freak offs. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And when you reached out to a contact for more drugs, how did you know who to reach out to?
Sean would tell me who to reach out to exactly.
Okay. Now, earlier you described the term session referring to all of the sex acts with the escort. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And did the sessions follow a similar pattern at most of the freak offs?
Yes.
And how did you know what the pattern was?
It was established pretty early on during the freak offs that Sean enjoyed a lot of conversation or describing, usually started with oral and touching and went to oral sex and then eventually turned into intercourse. It was like a gradual process.
And is that the same pattern that was typically followed in the session?
Yeah,
Okay, now who decided what that pattern was?
Sean did. I often would try to speed it up if anyone wasn't really paying attention.
Objection, non-responsive.
Sustained. I think that's you, Cassie.
Can you bring me back?
Of course. You were talking about what the pattern was. So let's focus on that for a moment.
Okay.
What was the first sex act of the session?
First sex act of the session would just be masturbating, looking at each other.
And when you say looking at each other, who would you be looking at?
I would be looking at the escort and they would be looking at me. Um I would describe what I saw in detail. Yeah, that's kind of how the beginning went.
And why would you describe what you saw in detail?
This is what turned Sean on. That was his fantasy. So yeah.
And who, if anyone, asked you to describe in detail what you saw?
Sean,
And how did you feel about describing what you were doing in the masturbation step of the session?
I mean, it was just always awkward. I'm a pretty laid back person, so like sitting there and describing somebody's penis to another male was just awkward, pretty humiliating. But eventually it just became normal.
Okay, now did you want to be describing what you were doing sexually?
No, I did not.
And after masturbation, what was the next step in the session?
Masturbation was just continue to put oil on, eventually get to each other, the escort and actually start touching each other. That would eventually lead to oral sex.
And I'm going to pause you there.
Mm-hmm.
When you move to touching the escort, how would you know when to move from masturbation to touching the escort?
More often than not, I would ask if it's okay for me to.
And who would you ask?
Sean,
And you move from touching to oral sex, how would you know when to make that move?
I would just do it and hope that it would be accepted timing wise or he told.
Who would you tell?
Sean would tell me.
When you would ask Sean if you could move from masturbation to touching, why would you ask him?
It was his fantasy. He was controlling the whole situation. He was directing it. He was doing the lighting. He was telling us where to be, what to say, and how to act in the room.
And you testified that you would sometimes move straight to oral sex. Why would you want to move to the next sex act?
I would just try to speed the process along. It was personally, if I get it done, then it's over, then we move on to the next thing. I just wanted it to be over.
And when you say that you wanted it to be over, what's it?
The freak off session, I more often than not would just want to be able to get to the other room where we could just spend time with each other alone.
And when you say get to the room where you could spend time alone, who was in the room when you were spending time alone?
Just me and Sean.
And after oral sex, what was typically the next step?
Sorry, buffering. Okay, there it goes. Oral sex would lead to intercourse. And depending on the familiarity with the escort, sometimes Sean and the escort will both have intercourse with me or just be doing something at the same time. Sometimes he would just watch.
And when you say that he would be doing something with you at the same time, what was that something?
If I was having intercourse with an escort, Sean would walk up and have me give him oral sex. It was just like a lot happening at once.
Okay, and during intercourse, would escorts ejaculate?
Yes.
And at what point would the escorts ejaculate?
Usually when it was okay for them to, per Sean, but if they did, they would usually do it on me and then sorry. Then we would Sean and I would go into the next room and he would want me to put the semen on his body. Oh Lord. Oh.
Oh no! Oh no!
This nigga nasty, man.
That's
No!
weird and
That's
bizarre.
semen on the
Oh
nipple.
no! Oh god!
Did you
What do
just
you get out
visualize
of
it,
that?
Atmos?
Oh gosh!
Yeah, that's gross, dog.
What do you even get out of that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't want mine's on me, let alone somebody else.
oh my god, y'all!
I
That's
think because the
Oh
disgusting.
my!
man has sex with
Ah!
men.
Like,
I
yeah, let me
think
take
because
that.
Diddy is does I think Diddy also is not only doing it with women but with men as
No,
well.
yeah, he like, hey,
He
let me
has
take that.
to.
Let me get that Playboy. Let
He
me take
has
that.
to. There ain't that much freak in the world
Take that. Take that.
Oh no.
with him just being straight. You know,
Yeah, ain't nothing straight about him at all.
nothing.
Huh? Come, you can come up here, Noodle. Okay,
Oh,
what's up, Shay?
Noodle.
Yeah, Noodles. What's up, Shay?
Nothing much. Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
You
Hey
good?
Shay.
Hey.
Thanks for being here. All right, y'all go ahead, do y'all thing.
Shay just missed it.
Oh god.
Um. Okay, and when the escorts would ejaculate on you, who, if anyone, would tell them where to ejaculate?
Sean was usually right there directing it where it would be.
And were there occasions when the escorts ejaculated without having being told to do so?
Yes.
And what happened on those occasions?
They got paid less.
And what, if anything, would Sean say about when the escorts ejaculated without having being told to do so?
He was pretty open with the fact that he wasn't pleased by their performance. So yeah, he would take less money.
And when you would go into the other room and you said Sean asked you to put semen on him,
Mm-hmm.
did you do that?
I did.
And where did you put it?
Usually on his chest, on his nipples.
And did you want to do that?
No.
And in total, how long approximately did each of these sessions last?
Each session, not like a full freak off.
Yeah, each session.
Anywhere between like an hour to 3 hours, just depended.
And the individual stages that you described, how long typically did each of those stages last?
Felt like forever. One thing could be hours, honestly, depending on how high we were. Yeah.
And you testified about wanting to speed the process along.
Mm-hmm.
And how would Sean react when you tried to speed up the process?
Um, he would tell me to slow it down or tell both me and the escort to slow it down. I could often like if I left the room to use the bathroom, I could hear Sean telling the escort to slow it all down because I usually just wanted I usually want it to just finish.
Besides asking you to slow down, were there occasions where you had to start a stage over if you moved too quickly?
Yeah, we would go back to square one.
And approximately how many sessions would you have with one escort during a freak off?
I would say at least 2 to 3. But a freak off could be 3 to 4 different men.
And how is it determined how many sessions would be had with any one escort?
It was based off the high and just how things were moving.
Oh, did you ever want to have additional sessions with an escort?
No.
And who, if anyone, would ask you to have, well, would tell you to have additional sessions with an escort?
Shay, can you read Mr. Stavo?
Mute.
Objection. Form.
I can rephrase, Your Honor.
You may.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
may.
Thank you, Judge. Now, Miss Ventura, you just testified that you did not want to have additional sessions with the escort.
I hated it.
Did you have additional sessions with escorts during the freak offs?
Sometimes, yes.
And why?
Because Sean would want to do more, go longer, finish up strong, as he would say.
And you also testified that there were sometimes 3 or 4 escorts at a freak off. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And were there any occasions where there was more than one escort present for one session?
Yes.
Were
Riri?
there were
Oh,
there any occasions where there was more than one escort present for one session?
yes.
And approximately how many times was that?
That I don't know an exact number, but definitely more than once.
And did you want more than one escort to be present at the session?
No, it was already enough managing one additional person.
And when more than one escort was present, how did the sex acts proceed?
Just it was very like porn.
And what do you mean by that?
Um it was just I was an object being heavily objectified by men in that scenario.
Okay, now you talked about managing an additional escort. What did you mean by managing?
Just having to be the only female in the room, like with the sexual stuff, it just having to entertain one more person, make sure one more person is satisfied. Yeah.
Okay, now during these sessions, where was Sean physically related to you and the escort?
If he wasn't involved, he would be just outside the room, kind of covered up, not seeing. You could just hear his voice or in the corner. Yeah. If he was involved though, he would be right next to us.
And when you say involved, hold on, is that what, or are you referencing he would be a part of the sex as you discussed earlier?
Yes, with me.
And if Sean was in the corner of the room, what was he generally doing there?
He was generally masturbating and just talking.
And what kind of things did he say?
Um, he would just ask me like how how the dick felt, like what it looked like, how it made me feel. This is so awkward.
You
Does
also,
anybody hear an echo?
yes.
Hold on. Uh,
It's like a
Okay, that was
car
Shay.
driving or something.
Shay, that's your background. So let's go on mute if we're if okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
You also mentioned sometimes Sean would be outside the room.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How frequently did that happen?
I mean, it varied. No real number.
And when Sean was outside the room during the freak off, what, if any, conversations did you have with Sean before it started about where he was going to be?
Mm. We didn't really. I guess on occasion he was there like a couple of occasions where he said he wanted to watch from a different room or he would set up like my phone and his phone on a FaceTime so that he could watch while he wasn't like present in the actual room. So I was still expected to do the same thing even though he wasn't there.
So, on those occasions when Sean was out of the room, what did you and the escort typically do?
Um, if he could see me, if Sean could see me on the FaceTime, I was still doing the same thing. So talking and having this sexual encounter with the escort. But if he was just out of the room and not paying attention, I would stop.
And how would you know if Sean was out of the room and not paying attention?
I would just know that you can't hear him or he didn't call. He's not paying attention.
And during the freak offs, what difficulty, if any, did the escorts have in getting or maintaining an erection?
It was actually pretty frequent with people we didn't know well. Yeah, they would express it like it's every time Sean would talk, it would throw them off, or if he moved the candle, or just was distracting, I guess.
And what did Sean do when the escorts was having trouble with erections?
Um, he would give them a pep talk. I don't at the end that they definitely didn't get paid the normal amount. I know that.
And how do you know that?
Because he would tell me and he would tell them as well. It wasn't really a secret.
And when you say he, who was he?
Sean,
And were there any occasions where Sean offered the escorts drugs like Viagra?
yeah,
And who else besides the escorts did Sean offer Viagra to?
he offered it to me before.
And what did he say about you taking Viagra?
That it has the same effect on women, just sensitivity.
And did you take the Viagra that was offered to you?
I did.
And then how did you feel?
Sensitive and engorged.
And did you want to take the Viagra?
No, I thought, no, I didn't.
And when the escorts was having trouble getting erect, what, if anything, did you observe affected their inability to get erect?
Like I said before, just the distraction of seeing Sean move around, maybe just hearing his voice, is quite recognizable. Any distractions, though, really, some of the men would actually just say that, like having someone else in the room was disturbing for them. It made them uncomfortable.
And were there any distractions that you observed other than their Sean's voice?
Um,
Your Honor, I'm going to object at this point. Cumulative and its straining. Relevance?
I'm sorry. The last part of it I missed.
Relevance.
Okay. I'll sustain the objection and you can maybe rephrase the question.
Sure. After the end of the session, what would you and Sean do next?
the end of an entire session, or
Just one session within the freak off.
we would just hang out and take more drugs with each other.
And after a session, would you ever have sex with Sean?
Yeah.
And where would you have sex with Sean after the session?
In the room outside of where the session was, separate room.
Okay. You mentioned earlier today that the freak offs were video recorded. Do you recall that testimony?
Yep.
And how were they recorded?
In the beginning, they were on video cameras like the ones with the small tapes, then eventually phones, iPads, computers.
Whose devices was used to record the freak off?
His devices and my own, Sean's and my own.
Okay, approximately when did the freak off start being recorded?
Pretty early on, within the first year.
And who, if anyone, proposed recording the freak offs?
I wouldn't say that there was a proposal, it just started happening.
And how did it start happening?
Sean brought out a camera and set it up, and that's what was happening.
And did you want to be recorded?
No, I remember feeling insane at first, and then he explained it to me that it's for him afterwards. So yeah.
And did you ever watch the videos again?
Yes.
And when would you watch the videos? When would you watch the videos again?
I would watch them with Sean afterwards when we usually were having intercourse, but I also, if I saw them and I was on my own, I was deleting them.
You mentioned that some of the videos was recorded on some of your own devices.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember that?
Yep.
And why were your devices used?
Because they were there, no real reason.
And did you want those videos to be on your devices?
No.
And if you saw the videos um, on your devices, what did you do?
Delete them.
Who set up the recording equipment during the freak offs?
Sean, if he wanted me to move it, I would move it.
And how would you know when he wanted you to move it?
He would tell me.
Whose idea was it to use your devices?
It was Sean's idea.
And were you always successful? Or why did you delete the videos that you found on your devices?
Humiliating, disgusting. I never wanted anyone to ever see me like that. It was just not okay for me. And I felt like it was just tossed around. Like the idea of it was tossed around like it was nothing. Like, yeah,
The idea of what was tossed around like it was nothing.
objectifying me and putting me in these really compromising, gross positions with strangers that I just, yeah,
You also testified that Sean's devices were sometimes used to record the freak offs. Do you remember that?
yes.
And what, if anything, did you ask Sean to do with the videos?
I would frequently ask him to delete videos because he had his assistants and staff members would have access to his computers and phones.
And to your knowledge, did Sean delete the videos that were on his devices?
I don't know.
Were there times when you saw videos even after Sean said that he had deleted them?
Yes, and I would delete them.
And how often did that happen?
On occasion, it wasn't all the time, but enough.
Miss Ventura, when, if ever, did you leave a freak off before it was over?
Um, when I was literally just trying to go home,
And what do you mean by that?
there was an instance in Los Angeles where it got violent and I chose to leave.
And where were you in Los Angeles?
I was at the Century City, or sorry, Intercontinental Century City.
And what happened when you chose to leave?
When I chose to leave, I grabbed what I could and I got out. And Sean followed me into the hallway before the elevators and grabbed me up, threw me on the ground, kicked me, tried to drag me back into the room. He took my stuff. Yeah.
Miss Ventura, I'm going to start at the beginning of that incident.
Okay.
Prior, strike that. Miss Gavin, can you please pull up for identifications for court and the parties government exhibit B625? And can you please also put up page 2 side by side? Miss Ventura, do you recognize the document at B625?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
A text message between me and Sean.
Is that a true and accurate text message between you and Sean?
Yes.
The government offers government exhibit B625.
Can I have one moment, please?
You may.
No objection.
B625 will be admitted. Government exhibits B625 received in evidence.
Miss Ventura, focusing you on the top of the page one. If Miss Gavin, if you could blow up the topic section, who are the participants in this chat?
That's me and Sean.
Miss Gavin, can you take that one down? And can you blow up the bubble on the page two, please? What's the date on this message?
March 5th, 2016.
And what event, if anything, did you have at or around March 2016?
I had my first big movie premiere.
And in relationship to March 5th, when was the premiere?
That premiere was on the following Monday or Tuesday. So this was on a Friday, I believe.
And I'm sorry. Miss Gavin, can you take that down and put up page 2 and 3 side by side? Now, Miss Ventura, directing your attention to the first message on page 2. Who is this message from?
From me.
I'm sorry?
Oh, two?
On the page on the left. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's from Sean.
Okay. And what does that message say?
Thanks. So what you gotta do so I plan the rest of my night. So I can plan the rest of my night.
And when Sean asked you, so what are you going to do so that I can plan the rest of my night? What was your understanding of what Sean was asking you?
I mean, my understanding after that time passed was that he wanted to have a freak off or do something along those lines.
Okay, now turning to the next page. And Miss Gavin, can you blow up the green message at the top, please? Now, how do you respond, Miss Ventura?
I say, baby, I want to FO so bad, but I don't want to fuck myself up. What am I to do?
What does FO stand for?
Freak off?
And when you say, baby, I want to FO so bad, but I don't want to fuck myself up, what did you mean by that?
I There's a lot in that little line, but I definitely didn't want to mess myself, my body up for my premiere by partying. But I was telling him that I wanted to have a freak off with him.
And why did you tell him that you wanted to have a freak on? Even if you didn't want to mess up your body and mess up your body by partying.
Honestly, it was like a bit of damage control ahead. I I personally felt like if I sort of initiate or go along with creating this night that my premiere wouldn't be ruined. I don't know.
What were you worried about with what happened at your premiere if you didn't have a freak off with Sean before the premiere?
He would just like made it miserable for me. I never really had like the chance to or the opportunity to enjoy the things that I worked really hard on. So it just felt like I was trying to play a balancing act a bit.
I think that you mentioned damage control. What did you mean by damage and control?
If I pleased him with a freak off, then my premiere would run smoothly. That's how I looked at it.
And Miss Gavin, can you pull that one down? Miss Ventura, directing your attention to the text message at the bottom of the green in green.
Mm-hmm.
Can you blow that up, Miss Gavin? Miss Ventura, what does that message say?
It says, I'm going to BOA quickly to see Erin because I didn't get to see her and we can have fun. I don't want you thinking I don't want to.
And when you say that you don't want you thinking I don't want to, what are you referring to?
To the freak off
And why did you say that?
because I didn't want him thinking I didn't want to. That would be a problem
Why would that be a problem?
because I knew what he wanted and I knew the nuanced conversation. I understood it differently.
So, turning to the hotel, I believe that you testified earlier that this was at the Intercontinental in Century City.
Yes.
Okay. Now, inside the hotel room, at a high level, can you describe to the jury what happened?
Inside the hotel room, we were having a freak off. And is it okay to say who was there?
Yes.
Jules was one of the escorts, and in the middle of it, there was a lot of drinking, there was a lot of partying, but in the middle of it, I'm not sure what happened, but I got hit by Sean and I had a black eye. And at that point, all I could think about was me getting out of there safely. I had my premiere and I didn't want to mess it up, so I left.
At what point in the freak off did Sean hit you?
It was like in between sessions. So when we weren't in the room with the escort,
And was Jules still present in the overall hotel suite
yes, he was.
when Sean hit you?
Yes.
And after he hit me, oh no, that's Cassie. After that happened, after Sean hit you, what happened next?
After he hit me, and I saw the result of it, I knew I had to get out. So when he was distracted, I don't know exactly what he was doing. He was either in the shower or on the phone. I just grabbed my stuff and ran out as fast as I could.
Where and where were you headed when you ran out of the room?
I was headed home to my apartment.
And what happened next?
I made it to the elevators. I got my sneakers on, and the next thing I knew, I was just thrown to the ground. Yeah, it was really fast, thrown to the ground.
And you said that you got your sneakers on. When you got to the elevator, where were your sneakers before?
My sneakers, I think, were in my bag. I just ran out without any shoes.
And why did you run out without any shoes?
Faster,
You said you were thrown to the in the you were thrown down in the elevator lobby. Who threw you down?
Sean. He grabbed me by the back of my neck and my hoodie and just threw me to the ground.
And in the interaction in the elevator lobby, what kind of things was Sean saying to you?
It's a little bit fuzzy to remember.
Well, I don't want you to speculate, so let's pull up some exhibits. Miss Gavin, can you please pull up Government Exhibit 10C-104 into evidence? And if you could just pause it at the first second. Miss Ventura, do you recognize this hallway?
Yes, that's the Century City Intercontinental Hallway.
Okay. Miss Gavin, can you please play until 14 seconds? Miss Ventura, in which direction are you walking in this video?
I'm walking towards the elevator.
Sorry, I skipped a step. Who's in this video?
That's me.
Okay, Miss Gavin, can you please play until 13 seconds or 33 seconds? Pause there. Who's depicted on the scene at 33 seconds?
That's Sean.
And in which direction is Sean heading?
Same as me, towards the elevator.
And what is Sean wearing in this video?
Towel and socks.
Miss Gavin, can you please take this exhibit down and pull up 10C-103? And can you please play until 29 seconds, please? Actually, pause there first. Miss Ventura, do you recognize what's depicted here in 10C-103?
Yes, that's the elevator area.
Is that at the Intercontinental?
That is at the Intercontinental, yeah.
Miss Gavin, can you please play until 29 seconds? Who's depicted in this frame?
It's me.
And can you play a few more seconds, Miss Gavin? Pause there. Who's behind you now?
Sean.
And can you please play until 56 seconds? Okay, pause there. Miss Ventura, in what direction is Sean pulling you at the end of that clip?
He's pulling me towards the room.
And earlier in that clip, do you see what you described earlier of being thrown to the ground?
Yes.
And how many times has Sean thrown you to the ground like that before?
Too many to count. I don't know.
And when you were thrown to the ground at the Intercontinental, what did you do?
I, at that moment, covered my face and just stayed there
Why did you cover your face?
because I didn't want him to do any more damage than he had already done.
And why did you just stay on the ground?
Because it felt like the safest place to be.
Miss Gavin, can you take this down, please? And pull up 10C-105? And if you could play from 23 seconds to 30 seconds, just pausing. I'm sorry, before we start, Miss Ventura, do you recognize what's depicted on the screen in 10C-105?
Yes, that's the opposite side of the hallway at the Intercontinental.
Okay, now Miss Gavin, can you please play 30 seconds, please? And was Sean visible in that clip?
Yes.
Where was he?
He was dragging me around the corner.
Miss Gavin, if you could take that down and pull up 10C-103 again, please. And where we are at 56 seconds. Miss Ventura, taking it back to your testimony about staying on the ground, were there occasions where you tried to fight back with Sean and when Sean would hit you?
No.
Miss Gavin, can you please play from 146 to, from 143 to 146? Okay, sorry. Just one moment. Okay, I gave you the wrong timestamp. Can you play from 56 seconds to 1 minute and 32 seconds? Okay, so starting from where you were at the corner, pausing you there. Miss Ventura, what are you doing in the corner?
I picked up the hotel phone that was on the floor.
Okay, and where's Sean?
He's standing facing me.
And what does he have in his hands?
My purse and my overnight bag.
Okay, and if we could take that down, Miss Gowan, if we could take that down. Okay, pull up 10C-104. And if you can play from 140 to 150, which direction is Sean walking?
He's walking back towards the room we're staying in.
And what does he have in his hands?
All of my bags.
And if you could play to 208, which direction is Sean walking?
Back towards the elevator bank.
And where are you at this point?
Um, I think I'm off. I don't know. I'm off camera or I'm either on the phone. I don't know. So I went down to the other hallway as well.
Are you still in the elevator bank?
I think I'm still in the elevator bank. I'm probably about to get on the phone.
And what does Sean have in his hand?
I don't see anything in his hands.
Your bags. Are they no longer in his hands? Is that right?
No, it looks like he dropped them off.
Your Honor, it's 5 o'clock. Should we? You on mute, Atmos?
Are you at a good stopping place?
I'm at a good stopping place.
All right. Thank you, members of the jury. I'll give you the same instructions I gave you yesterday. Do not talk to each other about the case. Do not look up anything about the case. One just specific point about that, if you have any notifications on your devices, please turn those off, please. Especially if they are from any news organization of any kind. Do not talk to anyone about the case. And no one here should be talking to any of the jurors directly or indirectly. With that, have a great evening. I will see you tomorrow at 9:15. All right? Okay. Please be seated. Miss Ventura, we'll see you here tomorrow at 9:30.
Thank you.
Does Miss Ventura have any escort or anyone we need to coordinate with?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe the agents are going to coordinate escorting her out of the building.
All right.
What? Oh, that shit. Oh, you said all right. What are we looking for tomorrow? Looking at for tomorrow?
What are we looking
Oh
at
no,
for
that's
tomorrow?
you. I'm sorry,
What are we looking at for tomorrow, Miss Johnson?
Your Honor. I expect that we'll finish direct tomorrow. I'm hesitant to give you an exact time. I probably need at least a half the day.
Half the day?
At least.
Any further from the government right now?
Nothing right now. Although I know that the parties intend to submit some letters later this evening. Yes, Your Honor. We wanted to flag a flag for Your Honor. Wait, where did it go? Yes, Your Honor. We wanted to flag for Your Honor. We do plan to put a letter on the sealed exhibits, the videos. We're planning to put it in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We're planning to put that in tonight. Also, we've been doing research on the issue Ms. Shapiro raised about witness contact with counts. We found some law and we found some examples of the judges in this district denying those kinds of applications from the defense. So we're planning to put in a letter on that for Your Honor as well.
Okay. And do you have, I mean, if you're going to submit letters on this, is there an objection to the proposal made by the news organizations that the three pool reporters have access to the terms?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been in touch with victims with Jane's counsel, who strongly object and wants to be heard on this and wants to put in a letter. And I believe victims one's counsel also objects. The core of the objections is that this is blackmail material that was used in the victimize these women, used to convince them to do more or coerce them to do more of this acts, and showing them to everyone more than absolutely necessary would be feed into the victimization, well, would re-victimize them and would unnecessarily humiliate them. We have now heard vivid testimony about how humiliating victim one found all of these incidents to be. And in our view, and in the victim's counsel's view, it is absolutely unnecessary and unwarranted to show them to everyone outside of the jury and to the parties.
And I know that I'll take a look at these exhibits. I know they'll be identified for the court. But in general, I understand that there are images and then separately there are videos. The videos pertain to whom?
To Miss Ventura and to Jane, they're only they are only of those two victims.
They are depictions of sexual encounters, the ones that are being discussed in this case.
Exactly, Your Honor.
The images are
They're screenshots
of those same videos.
of, of those same videos. And the reason that they're screenshots is our plan was to avoid unduly humiliating these women in public, to have them identify themselves and the escorts in the screenshots, and then minimize the amount that we play while they're on the stand. And instead, play whatever experts we think the juries need to see when the witnesses are not, or the victims are not themselves on the stand.
I take it the argument on narrow tailoring is exactly what the parties are doing, because the testimony will be heard in open court. And the only thing that is being shown in the open court will be the images and the videos themselves. So those materials from the party's position, or at least the government's position, constitutes the re-victimization of these individuals. And so whether it stems from the crime victims Rights Act or from basic notions of avoiding that kind of drama or trauma to alleged victims at this point. Those are compelling interests that would override any interest in the public of having access to those materials or to these materials. So, if we even spotting the news organizations that there is a compelling interest in the side of the public having access to trial materials. So, the overridden by the interest in these victims. So I'm not seeing, since I have had a chance to look through all the cases, I'm not seeing any case that would suggest in any way, shape, or form that images or videos of these types of acts that are alleged to be sexual abuse would be required to be shown in open court when they pose the obvious risk of re victimization of the people who are providing this testimony, especially when the individuals are subjecting themselves to testimony about the incidents in open court, and the public will have access to that testimony.
Precisely, Your Honor. And we're not collectively aware of any case. We collectively have extensive experience trying cases that involve sexual abuse of adults and minors, and we are not aware of a single case in which the video of the alleged sexual abuse has been shown outside of the jury and the parties.
The news organizations cite the Brown versus Maxwell, but that case is different. That involved a situation where the family, with the entire summary judgment record, was sealed, and the Court of Appeals determined that the district court had erred by not uh, doing a document by document review of what needed to be said. So the Court of Appeals did it. However, there is a footnote, option, or opinion that says that material was redacted, especially when it related to intimate encounters that the parties expected to remain confidential. And that would seem to apply along, among other reasons, to materials that we're talking about here.
That's exactly right, Your Honor. I'm actually familiar with the materials from the Brown versus Maxwell because many of them were subject of a criminal case against Maxwell. And my understanding is not a single nude image was released in that. And the process that followed, I believe the Judge Preska conducted after the circuit reverse Judge Sweet's universal sealing of the summary judgment record. Not a single image of nudity was released for very good reason. So I don't think that there is any basis in this case law whatsoever for the showing of any nude images, particularly of alleged abuse, to anyone outside of the jury and the parties.
All right, so to complete the record, you're going to put in the letters that you indicated, and also please identify those exhibits so that I can review them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Consistent to the rules here, I am provisionally denying the application raised by the news organizations and including the suggestion that three pool reporters be allowed to view and report on the video exhibits. But obviously, if something comes in overnight, I'll take a look at it. If it changes anything, I let everyone know. Okay, y'all. Oh, go ahead. Hold on, y'all. So turn. No. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay. He gonna do the wire tomorrow. He said he gonna do it tomorrow when they get there, and then it'll be in there in 15 minutes. So he gonna try and set everything up first. Yep. Okay, bro. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, it's Miss Comey.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was that the only reason the parties expected letters to come in?
We also plan to put in a letter. I think that I mentioned on the defense application that the witnesses not be permitted to communicate with their counsel while on cross examination.
Thank you.
We plan to put it in a letter on that issue.
Very good. And just looking ahead, Miss Estavo, I take it that given that Miss Johnson has said that your cross examination will go into Thursday, is that basically right?
Easily, yes.
All right. So Miss Comey and Miss Johnson, who is your next witness after Miss Ventura?
We are still trying to figure that out, Your Honor. We have assured defense counsel that we will inform them of that tonight. And part of that is that we want to look at the calendar about who will be available to be in New York if we need to put a witness on Friday.
Okay. Anything from the defense?
Go ahead, Shay.
So you can read Miss Shapiro. Shay, you're on mute.
You want me to just go ahead and do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your Honor, just with regard to the letter Ms. Comey mentioned about the witness communications with her attorney on cross or other witnesses' communications with their attorneys on cross, we would like to respond to that letter. And I realize that cross is going to start tomorrow. So we would appreciate if the court would set a very tight deadline so we have time to respond in writing before the court rules on that.
I think that was directed at you, Miss Comey.
I'll take as much time as Ms. Shapiro is willing to give me.
We can meet and confer.
It's 5 o'clock right now. You say you've identified some cases.
We have, Your Honor, and I would like to put them into a format legible and coherent though.
8 o'clock.
All right, Your Honor, thank you.
8 o'clock p.m. Miss Shapiro respond. If it comes in the morning, I'll read before we convene.
We'll do this as quickly as possible.
Let's plan to be here at 9 a.m. Anything else from the defense?
No, Judge.
All right. We are adjourned. See everyone at 9 o'clock a.m. Adjourned. So this is adjourned. This is May 14th. So that's day 2. That's day 2. Do y'all want to trickle over into day 3 right now?
Sure.
good
I'm
to
sorry.
start
I'm not
it.
this.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, what happened, Shay?
Every time that it keeps on, like pausing and the screen goes black and stuff. That's what, like when I was trying to take my mute off, honey, it wasn't doing whenever the screen kept pausing on me. Is it doing that for everybody else, or is it just me?
It's doing it.
It's going black. That's so freaking weird.
Yeah,
Cause
it's
I don't.
buffering. That's why I keep pausing too.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think the problem may be is I put there's a new feature on StreamYard that allows you all the option to record while you're watching this too on your own device, and maybe that's what's killing the bandwidth of what's going on y'all's ends.
But
So
That wasn't there before and it was still
no,
buffering.
it wasn't. Yeah, and it was still doing the same thing.
Yeah, it
yeah.
was still buffering.
Wow.
Oh, but when did you put that option on there?
Today, I just upgraded the thing today, and so
Oh no, it's been doing this ever since we started this time. But when we read the other trial beforehand, we had no problems like this. That's why it keeps throwing me off.
yeah, I think it's probably because of the software. StreamYard just so inconsistent.
That sucks.
Yeah. I'm sorry. All right, let's pull up day 3. Let's see here. Let's go here. So let's talk about day 2 while I'm looking for day 3. What do y'all think about what we just read?
This nigga nasty.
Disgusting.
Diddy's a sex demon.
Hey, look. Hey, a sex fiend is a sex fiend. This one is
He's not just a
disgusting.
fiend though, he's a sex demon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah, this
saying.
is this is some
Yep.
weird type shit. No wonder he asked the dude, "Oh, you sure you ejaculated?" And he's like, "Cause we didn't see it, so he wanted it." Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Mm.
Like, I mean, what is the significance of that? Like, what is it gonna do to him that he needed so bad?
That's weird. That's messed up in the head type stuff.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I'm just trying to figure it. What? It's weird. I can't even imagine.
And then
Like he
it's like,
all that lube and baby oil, he can't get that to put on his nipples. He needs some cum. That's weird.
Oh,
and from a stranger.
Right. Lord, they blessed they ain't got heebie jeebies and everything else. All this stuff they had going on.
I'm sure they did. We'll probably hear about that later.
They got the cooties and everything, huh?
all right. So if you could, Ken Johan, I'm gonna let you read the judge because and I'll pitch in and jump in with the any defense males. It's like it's gonna be pretty much female and male also. Female and female on this next session on the defense's cross. So I'll let you be the judge, bro. You hear me, Johan? Yo, you on mute,
It
bro.
sounds like somebody's outside.
Yeah, here's some frogs or something.
I hear it too.
Yeah, that's coming from my house. I'm sorry. I got
That's
swimming.
that Blues Clues.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, here we go. Let's share. I'm surprised y'all can hear them frogs because I know it's picking up in my doggone thing.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so here's day
We feel like
3.
we out of them in nature. Shoot.
Don't do me. Don't do me.
You done talked about our Blues Clues phone so many
I
times.
know I
I've been
did. I know,
asking
but
for
see,
that.
I'm not good at taking it though. I can give it, but I can't take it.
Oh no, you gotta be able to take it.
Take that,
Gotta
take
be able
that.
to
In the
take
words of Diddy,
Take
not
that,
just one.
take that.
Take that, take that.
All right, is Johan here? Can Johan?
He might have stepped away for
You
a
on
minute.
mute, Johan?
Yeah, he might. Is he on mute?
Yeah,
Okay,
he is.
probably. All right, can y'all see the screen?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right. So let's get back into it. We're on day 3. Trial resumed, jury not present. Are you ready to proceed? Please be seated. First matter is that we have a note from a juror about a scheduling accommodation on Friday, June 20th, which won't be an issue. I'll enter into the court exhibit 2. The parties can review the letter and can advise the court if there are any issues based on that question. On that second question, do you need to wait for Miss Johnson?
Shay, you could do Miss Coleman.
Okay. No, Your Honor. I have their authorization to go ahead without Miss Meyer and Miss Johnson.
In terms of Rule 615 issue raised yesterday, is that going to be an issue for this morning's proceedings, or have the parties discussed what to do?
Meaning with respect to consulting counsel?
No, the Rule 615 issue concerning Mrs. Ventura's husband.
That may be an issue this morning, but the parties are aware of the agreement to have him removed from the courtroom before a particular subject matter comes up, and we'll be sure to pause at that point and make sure he is removed from the courtroom.
Thank you. Third issue, did you get the privacy screens installed?
Your Honor, I can
Go
take
ahead.
that.
Mhm.
Yes, with thanks to the courthouse tech staff, my understanding is that the privacy screens are currently affixed to the relevant juror screens.
Good, thank you. On the consultation with counsel issue, the defense in their late breaking letter I think that's the last one in the chain indicates that they have no objection to communications about a witness's health or correspondence concerning trial logistics. I take it. Mr. Shapiro, that would also include no objection to questions about potential liability arising from the testimony as well. All right? Meaning that if a witness were concerned about the implications of their testimony, not the substance, but the implications of the testimony, that is also something that they can consult with the lawyers about.
For instance, if something came up with the witnesses wanted to consult with their attorney about whether they should assert the Fifth Amendment or something like that.
Uh, Something along those lines. There is other versions of that.
I think we're okay with that, Your Honor.
So the sole instruction would be no communications concerning the substance of the testimony. And as you point out, you would say that substance would include things like the substance of the testimony about, for instance, Miss Ventura, substance of any testimony about, for instance, Miss Ventura's civil lawsuit.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And given those narrow contours, Ms. Comey, as the cases cited in defense letter, is there an issue here? I think that Ms. Shapiro is saying is they have no issue with emotional support. They have no issue with inquiries concerning any kind of liability, and there is no issue with inquiries concerning witness health or any of those trial logistical issues. Given that, it would seem that the defense's submission is well taken, understanding that there is no dispute, there is a matter of discretion.
Your Honor, I think there would still be an issue, at least with respect to consulting, allowing witnesses to consult with their attorneys about matters of potential privilege. I think this may be the main issue of dispute, is what I think that witnesses are. Oh, wait a minute, you went down before too fast. The witnesses are likely to be asked about topics that touch upon areas of past representation by attorneys in connection with civil matters. And I think that victim counsel and witness counsel are rightly concerned about being able to confer with their clients about any assertion of privilege. I will also note that before agreeing to that kind of compromise, counsel for Jane, counsel for Mia, and counsel for Miss Ventura are in the courtroom, have noted they joined the government's letter and have asked to be heard by Your Honor before Your Honor makes a decision on this point.
Okay, y'all, I want to stop right there. I got to jump on this call for business. So
Okay.
we're going to stop here. I got to jump on in about 10 minutes. So I wanted to give y'all an opportunity to speak. Give me a minute. So we're at the top of page 600. Top of page 600 with the judge. Okay, cool. So this was probably one of the most, probably the second most disgusting. I've never known a man want another man's semen spread it all over them. That's some sick, sick
It's
stuff.
just gross.
Yeah.
Who would think to even do something like that?
Right.
What's the purpose? Like, what does it do? Like he has to. That right there confirms that he has to mess with men too. There's no way.
Oh,
No way.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All that he's not gay, he's not gay, he's not gay stuff, they need to stop it.
He has no boundaries. Like, I think I kind of explained before, like, people that are this perverted or whatever, they don't care who it is.
Mm.
And which makes you wonder about children.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know,
Mm.
there's been allegations about that too.
Mm.
Yep. This is sick for real. Like I'm a woman and I ain't never thought to ask a man to give me his semen to put on my nipples.
Oh my gosh.
Like what a minute. Where this come from? Like butter and a biscuit or what?
Yeah, where did that even? Where did that thought even come from to even have?
Right. Like you got to be on some diabolical ish to sit there and come up with that.
Do you
Yeah,
think
who
that
came up with?
he learned by example, like somebody did him like this?
I think he would be used that as a defense mechanism, like R. Kelly did when he said that he was a victim. So I don't think that was his case.
Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's just weird.
It is super weird. So I know that there's so much going on with the case that we don't talk about on here because we're trying to stay consistent with the the transcripts. But just to kind of break it, since we are just having a conversation, what I heard there was some crazy stuff that happened today where his defense team freaked out or something like that.
Yeah, they start talking about the mistrial.
Oh yeah, and it was denied.
Wow.
And
Johan, what happened?
Yeah.
it
I
looks
don't
like
know.
the
It's
grass
just
is Oh, hey,
my,
Johan.
my bad, my bad. Yeah, it just I had
Mm.
I looked back. It wasn't there. It had kicked me out.
Mm.
Yeah, StreamYard is a little too fickle for me. I don't like it. It didn't used to be like this. Especially with you upgraded to the paid subscription and stuff, that you would
Yeah,
think that
man. Thing $44. I'm like, what the hell?
no, you may have to put a trouble ticket into them because
Yeah, do
it's
they have like support you can reach out to?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna do
because
that.
it's steady
Yeah, at the
buffering.
end of the stream, how was everything, and I'll be able to tell them it sucked.
Yeah, because it continuously buffers. Like every 3 to 5 seconds, it's buffering the
Yeah.
screen,
Okay.
and when you're reading, it'll throw you off because you lose your place, and then like especially like with I'm not muted. When I would have my phone muted, and then would try to hit the unmute, it would zoom me out, and then it would time out and stuff. So it was really like giving me all kinds of problems tonight, especially. It seemed like it was more often tonight than it was before.
And that's
And it's crazy because you just upgraded it, and I
I
agree
just
with Shay.
upgraded.
It has been more often.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it does tomorrow because I'm not gonna turn that recording thing on and see if that makes a difference or not.
Okay.
But y'all, I gotta go. I gotta get on this business call. Thank y'all so much. Y'all did a great job tonight. Come back tomorrow. We're gonna be on day 3, and thank y'all so much.
Okay, good
All
night,
right.
y'all.
Have
Thanks
All
for
everybody
right.
have a
having me.
good night.
All
Yes,
right.
everyone have a great night. See y'all tomorrow. King
Okay.
Johan,
Huh?
I need you to hit me up on IG because I didn't get your IG handle out down. Can you inbox me on IG so I can send you that link?
That's what I had sent. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in the chat real quick.
Okay.
Hold on, wait a minute.
All right.
Because I
See
was
y'all later.
waiting on you to hold
All
on.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Haters, all good. Thought I couldn't when I could. Woo!